Hi, today's passage is Luke chapter 17, verses 11 to 19. And this is a passage where Jesus heals 10 lepers. And we know this story well. He heals the lepers, tells them to go and see the priest, and off they go. But one of them, a Samaritan, comes back and thanks Jesus, falls at his feet and praises God. And there's a really well-trodden path of teaching here on gratitude to God. Now, I don't want to go down the well-trodden path. I want to take the road less travelled. And I want to focus on the position of the lepers in society as outcasts. Because that's what they were. You know, as a leper in Jesus' day, you will have been thrown out of your family. You will not be able to partake in society. You'll be hated, feared, shunned. You will be an outcast. So when Jesus healed them, he did more than just heal them of a skin rash. He gave them their life back. When they go and get the checks done by the priest and the sacrifices are made, they can go home. They can see their wives, their children, their mum, their dad, go back to their work. Everything that they thought they had lost forever has now been given back to them. That's this miracle. Now it's interesting, I've learnt recently that there are some of the miracles that Jesus did that are seen as messianic miracles. I learnt this from a Jewish Christian scholar. And he's saying that there were some miracles, and for a Jew to be healed of leprosy is one of them, that were a clear sign that this man is the Messiah. And there was another miracle that was the same, and that was the healing of the man born blind. We read that in John's Gospel. And when the Pharisees were investigating that healing, they interview the man's parents. And they say, you know, who did this? What happened? And they say, yes, he's our son. Yes, he was born blind. But they refuse to say anything else. They go and ask our son. He's an adult now. Because they knew for them to say, yes, this man Jesus healed him, was to acknowledge him as Messiah. And they were afraid of the authorities, afraid that they'd be put out of the synagogue for acknowledging Jesus as Messiah. And so maybe, and this is just speculation, but maybe these 9 lepers knew the same thing. Maybe they knew that if they went back to Jesus and fell at his feet and gave glory to God, that they would be publicly acknowledging him as Messiah. And that risked them becoming outcasts once again, when they'd only just been given their life back. And maybe they felt that was a risk not worth taking, to become an outcast again, but this time as a follower of Jesus rather than a leper. So, how does this help us? Well, you know, I think our society is becoming increasingly secular. And as such, I think Christians are becoming more like outcasts. I mean, just look at how Christians are often portrayed in films and TV. It's rarely good. We're often portrayed as hypocrites, bigots, abusers, or worse. And it's a twisted caricature of Christianity. We don't recognise it in the people we see around us. Look at the things that people say about Christians on social media and other things that, in many cases, if they were said about some other groups, might even be considered a hate crime. But we shouldn't be surprised by this, because Jesus told us that people will hate us because of him. Even later on in Luke's Gospel, we'll read that. And Jesus himself, because of his message and his deeds, was hated so much by his own people that they wanted to kill him. And so I think there is an increasing temptation for us to be like the 9, to take the bits of Jesus that are socially acceptable, the nice bits, the social action, the sense of community, pastoral care and support, but to walk away from the bits that risk rejection, might talk of obedience, submission, morality, sin. So let's not be like the 9 who take the nice bits but walk away from the whole in order to avoid rejection. Let's be like the Samaritan who walks towards Jesus and falls at his feet and gives glory to God, even if that means rejection by those around us. Because we know that whatever rejection we experience in this life, there is a welcome and acceptance waiting for us in the arms of our ever-loving God, who we get to call Father because of what Jesus has done for us.